Welcome into Friday's Sports Memo, every game on the board podcast, NFL edition, with our first guest up, Teddy Covers. Teddy, welcome into the pod. How are you?
Hey, great to be here, Drew.
Great to have you, man. Excited to get your opinion on the top half of the NFL card. And guys, this is Teddy Covers here. He's been killing it with the NFL. We got 68% year-to-date. Sides even better, 76%. That's 19-6 on the year. NFL over the last 3 years, 3+ years, my favorite stat here, 160 and 114 for 58%. That's over 3 years. Teddy, killing it in the NFL. Congrats to you. Anything you just want to say on those stats, or it's all what's coming up next? Don't concentrate on the past.
Look, I mean, the NFL's been good. Let's make no mistake about it. The clients are happy. I'm happy. The bankroll's flush. It's all good. But yeah, that's all. I mean, it started 2015. I was disappointed in my 2014 NFL season. I'm like, we got to change things up. Let's, and I kind of adjusted my style a little bit. Tweaked what might be the appropriate word. And obviously, since that time, the results have been real good. 58% since the start of the 2015 season. So it's been it's been a good year, and it's been in a good longer term run. But you know how it is, Drew. It's about what am I going to do on Sunday? What am I going to do this month? What are we going to do moving forward? You cannot spend even a minute patting yourself on the back for what you've done in the past. It doesn't do you any good.
Well said, Teddy. And guys, right before we get to the games, the coupon code, last day we're running it through this weekend, is Teddy Save. That's TEDDYSAVE, no spaces. And what that gets you is 90-day all access, all of Teddy's plays in every sport throughout the Super Bowl, the next 90 days for a huge discount, normally $975, just $549 on sportsmemo.com. That coupon code is Teddy Save. Teddy, on to the games, 251-252, Buffalo at New York Jets, AFC East battle here, 36.5 the total, looks like -7, pretty much across the board. How you looking to bet Buffalo, New York?
Yeah, and one last note on that coupon code. Of course, that counts every play in every sport every day. We're off to a very good start in the NBA, and the college football season has been rock solid as well. College hoops will start right after Thanksgiving, but not yet. I can't imagine how these guys do college hoops right now with everything else going on. So let's talk about the injuries, because that has certainly been a factor so far. There are reports. Josh Allen was back in practice this week for the Bills. There are reports that he could be good to go on Sunday. What I've read doesn't make me confident that we're going to see Josh Allen in the lineup for the Bills on Sunday. If we do, as opposed to Nathan Peterman, there will be a noticeable market adjustment for this ballgame. If we see Allen announced, Allen is going to be power rated ahead of Nathan Peterman. Of course, any quarterback in the NFL is going to be power rated ahead of Nathan Peterman at this stage of the campaign. Peterman would probably be ranked dead last. Let's draft quarterbacks right now and go through any roster, any team, anyone who's played this year. Yeah, I think Peterman might go last. But the bottom line is he is expected to start here, although the Jets have their own share of injuries. Sam Darnold, he's not going to go this week. Josh McCown versus Sam Darnold. I made 0 power rating adjustment for trading off the rookie for the veteran. If you remember, McCown had a lot of success in this offense last year. And, of course, the Jets do have their wide receivers healthy in Enunwa and Anderson, although they didn't have a big impact last week in a pretty ugly game against Miami. The Spencer Long injury. I mean, the Jets had, I think, about more than half a dozen bad snaps last week, and Todd Bowles criticized for leaving Spencer Long with a finger injury in the game when he couldn't deliver the shotgun snaps properly. We don't know yet if he's going to play, but going against a Bills defense, and this one surprised me. Football Outsiders and DVOA has Buffalo as the number 2 defense in the NFL, which I think is a little bit, it gives them a little bit perhaps more credit than they deserve, especially given that when you think about that opener against Baltimore where they got lit up. Since that time, that Bills defense statistically has been solid, given all the bad situations that their offense has put them in. But offensively, the Bills are on pace to be one of the worst teams since the AFL-NFL merger back in 1970. And, of course, Buffalo pre-bye, they've been dismal for a long, long time. The week before they get a break. So, obviously a leap of faith here with the Jets. When you talk about laying a touchdown in a game where the total is 36.5, and a backup QB and question mark about the center. But on the other hand, there's not any significant market support for the Buffalo Bills from wise guys or recreational players at this stage of the season. Books are struggling to attract money on teams like Buffalo. They're also struggling to attract money on the next team we're going to talk about, the Cleveland Browns.
Absolutely. Atlanta's been taking money all week. Open 3.5. Now seeing pretty much 6s, a couple 6.5s out there. 50.5, 51 the total, Teddy. We got the Falcons visiting the Browns.
Yeah, and we've seen now from this Browns squad, when they've been trying. They started out the tight game against Pittsburgh, the tight game against New Orleans. Since that time, when trying to step up in class, they played the Chargers and lost by 24 at home. They played the Steelers and lost by 15 at Pittsburgh. Last week against KC, they lost at home by 16. So there's been 3 step-up games and 3 double-digit losses for the Cleveland Browns. Obviously, a team that's already fired their head coach, a team that's already fired their offensive coordinator, and a team that the markets are not, and a team whose statistical profile isn't what it was last year when the wise guys were betting the Browns every week. Cleveland, by the way, still near the top of the NFL with a plus 10 turnover margin. Atlanta's 4-4. And we say, is this, all right, the Browns can't beat good teams. Are the Falcons a good team? Well, they looked pretty good last week against Washington. Of course, the Redskins were playing without 3 starting offensive linemen in that ballgame, which helped that defense look good. But even prior to that, the defense looked better before the bye against the Giants. Everyone's defense looks good against the Giants. We're not seeing Atlanta with a lot of blowout wins. There's been more tight games, The win over the Panthers by a touchdown, that was a tight one. The win over the Bucs, they had to hang on. The win over the Giants, they had to hang on. Last week, the first time all year where they put away a team comfortably. And if you're laying the points with the Falcons here, you got to hope for a similar level offensive performance because obviously defensively with the injuries they've suffered, the back door could be open here for the Cleveland Browns. Washington was too far behind last week to get through the back door. The Browns may not be this time around, but certainly at 4-4, Atlanta, my power ratings have Atlanta as a good team, not a mediocre team, warranting this line move upwards.
Teddy, we got New Orleans at Cincinnati next game up, with New Orleans laying 5.5 or 6, 54 the total. Is this a tough spot for the Saints here? Some people even predicting New Orleans as the best team after that big win last week.
It's the mother of all bad spots for the Saints. Really. Think of what New Orleans has been through over the course of just the last couple of weeks. All right. They come out of their bye. They're at Baltimore. Wild, down to the wire game. They win on a missed extra point at the end. And then a huge game at Minnesota. Battle, back and forth, down to the wire, physical contest. And then last week, blow a big lead against the Rams. Huge game. Rally back, win it in the fourth quarter. Next week, Philadelphia, Super Bowl champs, are coming to town. In between, this little road trip to Cincinnati. It just stands out as a bad spot. And of course, when we talk about betting bandwagon, Saints have won and covered 6 in a row now. Since that mediocre start, they've covered every game. So that bandwagon has grown, let's call it, to the enormous side of the equation. And of course, with this tired, battered Saints team, you're going up against the Cincinnati squad that, oh, by the way, they're coming off the bye, are rested and ready, in theory, off the bye. And a nice win prior to the bye after they suffered back-to-back losses. So a little bit of positive momentum. This is, I'm not going to say a season definer for the Bengals, but they're certainly not going to lay down. Of course, they did lose A.J. Green, and that's a big part of the money that's come on New Orleans without A.J. Green. Not like Tyler Boyd can't play, but Dalton and Green are a pretty potent duo, and without that duo, without Green, I do not expect the Bengals passing offense to work at the same level that it has. And of course, defensively right now, this great Bengals defense, Marvin Lewis coaches up defense, they're on pace to allow more yards than any team in NFL history. Drew, the defense has been an overvalued commodity from day one. They've given up 28 or more 5 times their last 6 ball games. It's not a defense I'm excited about backing against the Saints offense. And without A.J. Green, they worry about them trading points. So for as bad a spot as it is for New Orleans, I'm still not rushing to get to the betting window with the Cincinnati Bengals off the bye.
Okay, so still not rushing to get to the window with the Bengals off the bye, and it's interesting because you break it down really good, Teddy, as far as the spot just being that bad for New Orleans, but everything else, talent, quarterback, what they have to play for is all in New Orleans' side. But you just you brought up the bye, the spot as far as scheduling in the New Orleans team schedule here going forward. Even it's just in the NFL. How much does the spot matter in your opinion? Is it big? Is it more than any other sport, or would you say it's even less because it's football, just one game a week with professional athletes?
In this instance, the spot is so bad for New Orleans that my choice, then looking at the game and just looking, but forget the matchups, forget the team names on the uniforms. You just look at the situation for New Orleans. This spot is as bad as you're going to find for any team all year.
Right.
So I will not bet the Saints, even if the matchups work in their favor. This is not a Saints spot. It's a really bad spot. So it's sincere pass for me from the get-go. Can I make a case for the Bengals? I could. I just don't like it. So it's a game I'll be leaving on the sidelines.
Yeah, it's a fascinating handicap. I mean, part of it points all towards one team, and the other part points all towards the other. So, no, good stuff there, Teddy. Let's move down the card. We got 257, 258, Washington at Tampa Bay. We just talked about Washington a little bit. You mentioned all their injuries on the offensive line. The market, I'm guessing, putting money on Tampa Bay due to that. 51 the total. Looks like we're seeing key number. Want to make sure to shop around on this one. We're seeing 3s and 2.5s depending where you shop. How you looking to bet Washington, Tampa Bay, Teddy?
Sure, and I mean mostly 3s out there. The only 2.5 I'm seeing right now is with heavy juice at 5 dimes. And 5 dimes always offers the numbers that are a little bit off market with adjusted juice. And look, I wrote up a free play on this. You can read the full analysis right now at sportsmemo.com. But this is a situation, it screams Tampa Bay situationally. The Redskins injury report is a disaster, okay? Bill Callahan lost both starting cards last week, and they're good starting cards. Sean Laval and Brandon Sheriff. Sheriff's a Pro Bowler. They're already without left tackle Trent Williams long-term. Morgan Moses, the right tackle. He got flagged 4 times last week. He was trying to play through a bad knee. He hasn't been able to practice all week. They could be without 4 starting offensive linemen this week. They will be without 3. Okay, that's a problem for a team that has to run the football. Oh, by the way, their deep threat is out. Paul Richardson, the deep threat wide receiver. By the way, their pass-catching back is out with Chris Tompkins. Jordan Reed's got a neck injury. The Redskins, what they were 2 weeks ago is not what they are now. And here's Tampa. Their defense is awful. We know that. They haven't been able to put together back-to-back good halves of football, and it feels like months. But all that being said, Tampa can score. Washington can't. 3 points is not unreasonable to lay in this space. I do like the Buccaneers minus a spot. Again, get the full analysis over at sportsmemo.com where you can read my entire write-up.
Good stuff, Teddy. And guys, we got a couple more games here with Teddy. Then we're bringing Rob Vino in. And remember the coupon code TEDDYSAVE. Huge discount here, down to $549 for his 90-day all-access pass on sportsmemo.com. Includes all the sports, all the plays that get you throughout the Super Bowl. And that will include his Super Bowl props package as well. We got 259, 260 here, Teddy. New England at Tennessee. Looks like the Pats laying 6.5 or 7. Another game here where you want to make sure to shop around. Get the best number on your side. Mostly 6.5, seeing just a 7 or 2. But 47, 46.5 the total here, Teddy. How you looking to bet the Pats and Titans?
Sure, and certainly when you're taught, this is a legitimate sharp square divide. Okay, the books that cater to wise guys, to professional bettors. There's not a one of them that has New England minus 7. They're all 6.5s. And yet, you look at your Bovadas or your Sports Interaction or your stations and coasts here in Vegas, they're all at 7. The books that cater to the recreational players. So this is a sharp square divide game, no mistake about it. But, of course, the Sharps have been betting against New England for the better part of the last 3 years? And the Patriots have been, literally, they were to 28-5 ATS? Or was it 20? I think it was 27-5 ATS in 16 and 17. And lo and behold, here's New England right now. Remember, the Patriots aren't any good. We wonder why the Patriots can't beat anybody. Remember, they're vulnerable. Started out the season, that bad loss to Detroit, getting smacked by the Jags. Well, here's New England, 5-1 against a number of their last 6 ball games. Lots of money came against them against Buffalo. Oh, they won that game. It was cheap, but they won it. There was money on the Bears. New England didn't go off 3 there. They got bet off a 3. Boom, won that game despite special teams fiascos. Against Green Bay last week, the Packers are taking money. New England win and cover. Their statistical profile doesn't impress anyone. Like last year, like the year before, like the year before that. That's why, New England's outgained their opponents by 0.1 yards per play this season. They've been outgained by 0.4 yards per rush. They only have a +3 turnover margin. Tom Brady's QB rating isn't off the charts. There's statistically, New England continues to be a mediocre team, and that has burned all the wise guys for 3 years. So no, I'm not going to bet against the Patriots. And look, Tennessee's got better defensive numbers overall, better numbers against the run, better numbers against the pass. They're coming off a big win over Dallas. We've seen Mariota make some plays last week. They can run the football. I still got questions about the Patriots defense. I do not trust New England one iota, but I also don't like to bet against them. It hasn't served me well in recent years. And you look at the stats and all of that. The Patriots games, they're a difficult handicap for me. And when you find a team that you're struggling with, you know what you do? You leave them the bleep alone. That's my situation right now with New England, at least in terms of this matchup. It's certainly a game that I'm not running to the betting window to get involved with. I do think Tennessee's line has the potential to push New England around up front, and that may be a bad matchup for the New England Patriots. We have seen a fair bit of under money at a handful of books, although that's tailed off now, and the money's going back in the other direction. But I wouldn't disagree with that assessment. I think Tennessee's going to try to shorten the game, keep Brady and company off the field with their running attack, and that certainly has the potential to bode well for underbettors.
And Teddy, you think Mariota is fully healthy?
Well, coming out of the bye, they were saying that for the first time since the week 1 or week 2, he had no numbness in his hand. He had a wrap around his elbow that he had taken off, and he said that he could feel his fingers for the first time in a month, which is usually a good sign for a quarterback. And obviously Mariota played well on Monday night. So from all impressions, he's as healthy as he's been at any point since the start of the season.
All right, Teddy, look, we got a afternoon kickoff here with the Miami Dolphins traveling on the road to take on the Green Bay Packers. 47.5 the total, with Green Bay laying doubles at home, seeing mostly 10s across the marketplace.
Yeah, boy, I'm just trying to I got a Dolphin over 6.5 win bet. And they're 5-4 right now, and every win is just, you're like, just get one more, just sneak one out. Miami's not a good team. And the fact they've won 5 games, I don't think they deserve to win maybe 2 of those games. But let's give Adam Gase some credit. He's been designing game plans. The defense came to play last week, forced 4 turnovers. That's been a bad defense all year long. But unfortunately, with the defense stepping up, well, the offense suffered some key injuries. Tannehill's not going again this week. It doesn't look like. It'll be Brock Osweiler, and Brock Osweiler is bad. Okay, Osweiler had 2 open receivers for touchdowns last week. He missed them both. The only offensive touchdown that Miami got was the only touchdown Miami got was on a defensive score. As a result, so you have Osweiler behind center. Key for the offensive line: Laramie Tunsil, Juwan James. It was the left side of that offensive line. They're both questionable. Both guys hurt their knees last week. Both guys were carted off. I don't know if either one's going to be able to play on Sunday, and I don't want Brock Osweiler behind a makeshift offensive line at Lambeau Field. I can tell you that right now. Tunsil and James, 2 guys to pay attention to when you look at the inactive list for Sunday. But at the same time, I don't want Miami. I know that. I'm not excited about taking Green Bay here. Again, you look at the spot. Huge game against the Rams, then huge game against the Patriots. Next week, huge games against Seattle, and then they go to Minnesota on Thanksgiving. And here's this little game in between at home against Miami. We haven't seen this team dominate at home. They barely beat the Bears in the opener. They tied against the Vikings. They were lucky to get past San Fran in the closing seconds. It's not a team that's playing deep. They've given up 29 in each of the last 4 games. The one shutout against Buffalo. In fact, they give up 29 in every game except for the Bears and the Bills. That's it. So it's It's not a Packers defense I trust to lay this price. I don't like the spot for Green Bay, and I don't want Miami. So this was one that I did not spend a lot of time digging for details because I wasn't ready to make a case for either one of these two squads.
Teddy Save is the coupon code, $549 for his 90-day all access throughout the Super Bowl. That's Teddy Save at checkout at sportsmemo.com. We got Rob Vino coming up next to finish up the NFL betting card. But Teddy, any last words for the bettors out there going into the weekend?
Yeah, good luck. Good luck. Bet with your head, not over it, blah, blah, blah. November, when there's so much going on in November, when you're trying to preserve bankroll for NBA or college hoops or college football, NFL, NHL, whatever it is that you're betting, just, take a breath and recognize that sometimes your decision making at this time of the year is going to be affected by the fact there's so much going on. I really try to keep my focus on the task at hand right now and not try to get distracted. Oh, look what happened over here. Oh, look what happened over there. That'll kill you in a month like November where you have to focus because there's so much going on. But all of that's my job to focus. You guys out there, it's your job to win. So good luck out there. I hope you have a great weekend.
Good luck to you, Teddy. Thanks for the time, and we'll be right back with Robbie Vino.